देवाय देवकी नंदनाय च नंदगोपकुमाराय गोविंदाय नमो नमः। नमः पन्नगनद्धाय वैकुण्ठवशवर्तिने श्रुतिसिन्धुसुधोत्पाद मन्दराय गरुत्मते यो नित्यमच्युतपदाम्बुजयुग्मरुग्म व्यामोहतस्तदितराणि तृणाय मेने अस्मद्गुरोर्भगवतोऽस्य देहिकसिन्धोः रामानुजस्य चरणौ शरणं प्रपद्ये। श्रीमान् वेङ्कटनाथार्यः कवितार्किककेसरी वेदान्ताचार्यवर्यो मे सन्निधत्तां सदाकृति। केशवारिकृपापात्रं देशमादिगुणार्णवं श्रीशठारियतीशानं देशिकेन्द्रमहं भजे। प्रपद्ये निर्वद्यानां निषद्यां गुणसम्पदां शरणं भवभीतानां षडगोपमुनीश्वरम्। श्रीमद्
श्रीमद्रङ्गशटारि संयमितलब्धागमानत्रयं श्रीमद्वीररघुतहातिशरजित्पादारविन्दाश्रयं श्रीमद्वेदवंशदेशिकयतेः कारुण्यवीक्षास्पदं श्रीरङ्गधुरीशासनं नारायणं योगिनं वेदान्तदेशिकयतीन्द्रकटाक्षलब्धत्रयन्दसानं गुणवद्यगुणं बुधाग्र्यं नारायणात्यदितुर्यकृपाभिषिक्तं श्रीरङ्गनाथयतिशेखरमाश्रयामः। श्रीमते श्रीमन् दिव्य पादुका सेवक श्रीमन श्री गोप श्री नारायण यतीन्द्र महादेशिकाय नमः। श्रीमते श्रीमन श्री गोप श्री रंगनाथ यतीन्द्र महादेशिकाय नमः।
कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकिकोकिलं वाल्मीकेर्मुनिसिंहस्य कवितावनचारिणः शृण्वन् रामकथानाथं कोणयाति पराङ्गतिं यः पिपञ्जरितं रामाचरितामृतसागरम् अतप्तस्तं मुनिं वन्दे प्राचेतसमकल्मषं गोष्पतीकृतवाराशिं वशकीकृतराक्षसं रामायणमहामालारत्नं वन्दे नीलात्मजम् अञ्जनानन्दनं वीरं जानकीशोकनाशनं कपीशम् अक्षहन्तारं वन्दे लङ्काभयङ्करं मनोजपं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूतमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शिरसा नमामि। उल्लङ्घ्य सिन्धोः सलिलं निःशोकवह्निं जनकात्मजायाः आदाय तेनैव ददाह लङ्कां नमामि तं प्राञ्जलिराञ्जनेयम् आञ्जनेयमतिपाटलाननं काञ्चनाद्रिकमनीय विग्रहं पारिजातधर्मूलवासिनं भावयामि पवमाननन्दनं यत्र यत्र रघुनाथकीर्तनं तत्र तत्र कृतमस्तकाञ्जलिं बाष्पवारि परिपूर्णलोचनं मारुतिं नमत राक्षसान्तकं वेदवेद्ये परे पुंसी जाते दशरथात्मजे वेदः प्राचेदसादासीत् साक्षाद् रामायणात्मना तदुपगतसमाससन्धियोगं सममधुरोपनतार्थवाक्यबद्धं रघुवरचरितं मुनिः प्रणीतं दशशिरश्च पदं निशामयध्वं श्रीराघवं दशरथात्मजमप्रमेयं सीतापतिं रघुकुलान्वयरत्नदीपम् आजानुबाहुमरविन्ददलायताक्षं रामं निशाचरविनाशकरं नमामि। वैदेही सलिलं समुद्रमतले हैमे महामण्डपे मध्ये पुष्पकवासने मणिमये वीरासने सुस्थितम् अग्रे वाचयति प्रपञ्चनसुते दत्तं मुनिभ्यः परं व्याख्यान्तं वरदाद्विपरिवृतं रामं भजे श्यामलं। नमोऽस्तु रामाय च लक्ष्मणाय देव्यै च तस्यै जनकात्मजायै नमोऽस्तु रुद्रेन्द्रयमानिलेभ्यः नमोऽस्तु चन्द्रार्कमरुद्गणेभ्यः। धर्मात्मा सत्यसन्धश्च रामो दाशरथिर्यदि पौरुषे च अप्रतिद्वन्द्वः शरेणं जहिरावणी। Good afternoon, everyone. Shriman, can you turn on your video? Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to a fine Saturday afternoon of excellent storytelling session being organized by the Sam SVC Vaishnavism class. So this particular story session is unlike other regular story sessions because this is a grand celebration for 3 weeks for the commemoration of the Prana Pratishtha of the Ram Lalla at the Ram temple in the divine Kshetram of Ayodhya. So as a part of that celebration, we have about 3 weeks, 3 weeks of sessions organized here, all with the SAM SV students that have been going to the class for the past 8 years or so and have been learning lessons on our Perumal, Acharya, Sampradayam, Divedeshams, and also getting a bit of the Itihasam and Puranams on what are mentioned in our scriptures and everything. So as a refreshing beginner for a story session and also as a commemoration of the Ram Mandir, here we have Sam SV proudly presenting Mula Ramayanam's relevance of Rama in Kali Yuga. Okay, so we all know, at some point or the other, or in conservative Hindu God-believing families, knowing about Ramayanam is not a big deal at all. Everybody knows, right from small kids to elder people, consume a lot of information either through YouTube or WhatsApp or cartoons or Amar Chitrakatha or TV serials or movies, or reading directly from Mula Ramayanam itself as Valmiki's Ramayanam or Ramcharitamanas, or Kamba Ramayanam, or Tulasidasa's Ramacharitamanus or Kamba Ramayanam, or even Arunachara Kavirayar has composed a lot of slokams on Ramayanam that are being sung by a lot of little young kids and good artists, and also Tyagaraja Sankirtanams of Lord Rama. So coming across Ramayanam or knowing the story of Ramayanam is not a big deal at all in today. But instead of going around the same material over and over again, we wanted to do a slight difference, or have some takeaways for the children of the current generation. So you just have to imagine Ramayanam occurred in Treta Yugam, which is, Dwapara Yugam was the earliest Yugam before Kali Yugam. And before Dwapara Yugam, you have Treta Yugam. Now, if you talk to children like that are like 5 or 6 or 10 years old, even as parents, they say, "Oh, Appa, you are in a different generation, you won't understand." So even a difference between 5 or 10 or 15 years renders a difference in understanding and lifestyle and a lot of things that people consume in many different ways. But just imagine 2 yugams ago, okay, this Ramayanam or Ramacharitram, that is two yugams old, is still relevant even today. Isn't that magical? The greatness of Lord Rama. And we just want to understand how it is possible that Rama's attributes and Ramacharitram and Rama's gunas and also the characters in Ramayanam, that is 2 yugams old, is still super relevant to all of the situations today, and we can take a lot of lessons. So what is the big takeaway from here of Ramayanam being very applicable to this day is, we are faced with numerous number of challenges, be it children, young adults, old people, anybody and everybody, due to all sorts of circumstances and situations. And you will be surprised that those teachings and the circumstances that are explained, and how Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, Hanuman, Jatayu, and different characters, Vibhishana, different characters behaved in their circumstances of extreme distress and adversity, gives us a very, very good context of how we would deal and go about such situations when all people, regardless of age, gender, profession, background, are placed in stressful situations or tenuous situations. So these will teach us the lessons that we can take away as kids, young adults, and others, on how to deal with stressful situations, how to keep the path of dharma regardless of what happens to us. So going through a hardship does not give us an automatic compliance to be mean at others or to be doing non-acceptable stuff to others, right? So very, very critical and very, very logical and philosophical explanation of situations give us a lot of learning that in our humble opinion can help children, young adults, and everybody for that matter. So having said that, slightly going into the topic here, if we ask the kids today, you must have heard the word called GOAT, greatest of all things in sports lingo. If you ask football fans, okay, who's the greatest of all time, then people may say either Ronaldo, Maradona, or Messi, or depending on whose fan you are. It's pretty easy to pick one or two already, right? Same way in basketball and cricket, you have many different players that are greatest of all time. And if you take who is the most beautiful or the most handsome person, there are several beauty pageants all around the world, universe, nation, planet. You have all of those competitions deciding who the most beautiful man or woman is. The same way, who is the most smartest person, you have Nobel Prize and all different other prizes for each discipline to decide who the smartest person is. But is there any single way, or is there any single competition, or is there any single determination of who is the man of virtue, who is the best man of virtue, who is the most virtuous man across civilizations, across continents, countries, take it anywhere, everywhere? Is there any measure? Can anybody answer that question? Who was the most virtuous man? Who was the man of virtue, the embodiment of virtue, the most perfect person? There is nobody. But our scriptures in Sanatana Dharmam have a person called Chakravarti Thirumagan, as mentioned in Kalakshepams or in Rahasya Granthams, or more commonly known as Lord Sri Rama. Right? So for that person, what can we learn from him is pretty much what it's going to be here. But it's not just going to be freewheeling of whatever everybody thinks. We are still going to be going through Mula Ramayanam as written by Valmiki and bringing our pramanams. These brilliant children right here, Shriman, actually the Shriman is his nickname. He is referred to as Bhargavan Mohan Kumar, or his email ID goes as the science master, right? Bhargavan Mohan Kumar is in 9th grade, and he lives in Atlanta. And during his free time, like I said, he's a science master, so he's pretty smart in math and science. And during his free time, he learns Sanskrit, Vedam, and he's a recreational swimmer, also a volunteer at the local library. I would request everybody to place their lines on mute, please, so there is no background noise. So Bhargavan will be dealing with Balakandam to start with, and then he'll come back again. So there are 3 kids and there are 6 kandams. So each kid, starting with Shriman and Vasumati next. Vasumati lives in Atlanta, and she attends 10th grade at the Innovation Academy. She learns Carnatic vocal music and Veena, and she's also an avid volunteer in her local community. So Vasumati will be going over to the Ayodhya Kandam, and then we will slowly go over to Sanstita. Sanstita lives in Texas, as apart from the other 2 people. She is currently a college freshman in University of Texas at Dallas. She's studying neurosciences, and she is trained in Carnatic music and Veena and enjoys learning Stotra Padams and Sampradaya Vishayams in her free time. So Sansita will be helping us find lessons from Aranya Kandam, and the cycle repeats itself, where Shriman comes back to Kishkinda Kandam, Vasumati goes to Sundara Kandam, and then Sanstita will go back to Yuddha Kandam. And then I'll come back to summarize how nicely, eloquently, and captivatingly these kids have kept us in rapt attention to the learnings from Mula Ramayanam, supported by shlokams. So once again, I want to repeat here, the beauty of this session is these kids will tell you, or young adults here will tell you, slokams from Mula Ramayanam and draw comparisons to circumstances that we have in real life today and the lessons that we can take away from there to underline the relevance of Lord Sri Rama in Kali Yuga, or Ramayanam in Kali Yuga. Okay, now over to Shriman to start off with Balakand. Shriman, you can start, Amma. I think you are muted, Shriman.
Shriman, if the voice is not coming through, can you use Srimati's phone? You can talk through that.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, we have a bit of an echo.
But we got an echo. I think there are 2 lines open there, so we got an echo, but it's working.
Do you still have echo?
Nope.
Okay. So you can see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Okay. I'll start.
If you don't mind, can you turn on video as well?
Okay, yeah.
Yep, perfect. Perfect.
Ramayana has over 100 versions written in over 60 languages, and its influence can still be seen from Persia to the Philippines. This can be attributed to the greatness and universality of Lord Rama. At the new temple of Ayodhya, the presiding deity and specialty is Balarama, also known as Ram Lalla. And to commemorate the inauguration of this unique temple, I am honored to present about Bala Kandam in from Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. In the beginning of Srimad Ramayana, Valmiki asks Naradar, Konasmin sampradam loke gunavan kascha viryavan dharmajnascha kritagnyascha satyavakya dridavratah charitren chako yukta sarvabhudeshu goitah vidvan kah samartascha kascheka priyadarshanaha atman ko jidakroda dutiman ko nasuyakah kasya vibhyati devascha who in the world is filled with good qualities of valor, righteousness, gratefulness, truthfulness, who is able to be firm on his promise. One who is endowed with good conduct, treats all living beings with compassion, and is educated with the ability to do things which cannot be done by others, and is also delightful in appearance, who is self restraint, has conquered anger, endowed with splendor, free from envy, but can also be wrathful in battle that even devas are afraid of. The relevance of Ramayana can be seen because these qualities are still vital for us. Viryavan, being a good warrior or a person with valor and bravery. This quality can help us to be resilient against hardships and improves our skills and confidence. Satyavakya, one who speaks the truth, and Dridhavrataha, one who keeps his word. This quality is essential to building credibility and trust, which is very essential for education and professionally. Dharmagnya or righteousness. Today's ethics are tomorrow's laws. So it is very important to maintain strong ethics, leading to a strong society. Moral or ethical values build the foundation for all the other qualities. But more importantly, they guide us to make the right choices, which defines our character. Vidwan or person filled with knowledge. This quality helps us enhance our abilities to solve problems and make informed decisions. Samartha or being competent, being able to do things which other cannot.
Oh, we lost your audio.
Cannot. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yeah.
Okay. Samartha, or being competent, being able to do things that others cannot. This quality means to do something more efficiently. This can help in creating awareness, differentiating yourself, and helps being prepared. Atmavan, or self-restraint. Jitakrodha, conquering our anger. This is the ability to control our impulses, emotions, and desires. By exercising this quality, we are able to manage our thoughts and actions, making us more in control of our body, mind, and situations. By using our anger and emotion in the right place, we can make stronger decisions and build stronger relationships. Anusuyaka, or being free from envy. This is the quality that helps us realize our strengths, leading to a more content and also leads to a more content and happy life. In today's life, it can also help us with building a stronger mental health. Narada replies to Valmiki, stating that इक्ष्वाकुवंश प्रभवो रामो नाम जनैः श्रुतः नियतात्मा महावीर्यो धृतिमान् वशी. Rama from Ishwaku clan has all the qualities that Valmiki mentioned, which itself is very rare for one person to have. But Narada states he has other qualities as well, like Janai Shritaha, heard by the people, Mahavidya, incomprehensible skills, Dutiman, or majestic. He further goes to say,
Do you want to go to the next slide, Ma?
he further goes to say बुद्धिमान् नीतिमान् वाग्मी श्रीमान् शत्रुनिबर्हणः विपुलां स महाबाहुः कम्बुग्रीवो महाहनुः. He attributes qualities like buddhiman, great intellectual, nitiman, educated in statecraft and laws. This skill is very useful today as well. It can be a very useful skill in geopolitics and is also very advantageous in personal life when making smart, informed decisions. He describes Rama as Shriman, Vipulamsa, and Mahabahu. He describes how Rama performs the duties of a king by being just to his subjects. He further elaborates on Rama's knowledge as being accomplished in the Vedas, Vedangas, and Upavedas. These qualities serve as aspirational qualities for all humanity. We should constantly strive to inculcate Rama's timeless values and qualities. Moving along, at the age of 12, Vishwamitra takes Rama into the forest to safeguard the yajnas by the rishis. He uses this time to give Rama knowledge, like Bala and Atibala. Here we can see this famous sloka to wake up Rama to begin a fruitful day. Kausalya supraja Rama purva sandhya pravartate uttishta narasadola kartavyam deva manhikam. O beloved son of Kausalya, O Rama, the day dawns. O best among men, awake. Offerings to God and other sacred rites are required to be performed. कृतान् हि कौ महावीर्यौ विश्वामित्रं तपोधनम् अभिवाद्याभिसंवृष्टौ गमनायाभितस्ततुः. Here we can see Vishwamitra and Rama's beautiful teacher and pupil relationship. Vishwamitra, a sage with immense knowledge and spiritual power, is impressed by his Shishya. Rama's dedication, gratitude, and willingness to learn and apply his teachings is what we can observe here. Rama is praised for his superior qualities of respect and humility towards his teachers. In today's context, a teacher and pupil relationship symbolizes the importance of encouragement and support shown by a mentor in the pupil's personal, social, and professional development. It highlights the value of learning from experienced elders and utilize their knowledge to achieve success and make positive impact in the world. Another important learning from Ramayana is the incident of Rama killing Maricha and Subahu. Manavam paramodharamastram parabhaskaram chikshepa paramakrudha maricha rasiraghavaha. Here we can see how Rama is able to apply his skills to overcome obstacles and challenges. This incident also brings out Rama's leadership qualities of being selfless and protecting others. In today's context, we should be able to acknowledge challenges and obstacles we face and face them head on. Rama also demonstrates the need to apply our skills in a way useful to others. This incident also brings out Rama's leadership qualities of being selfless and protecting others. After more adventures with Vishwamitra and Rama winning Sita Swayamvaram by breaking Shivadanush, Parshurama, filled with anger and rage, confronts Rama and challenges him to lift and string the Vishnu Danush. Dashratha begs Parshurama to spare Rama. but Parshurama ignores. To this, Rama replies, Viryahina miva shaktam ksatra dharme na buddha avajanasi me tejaf pashya me dya parakramam. Calm and composed, Rama faced the challenge. Understanding his ability, he spoke confidently, articulating to Parshurama his next actions. With valor and humility, he lifted the Vishnudhanush and strung it. In today's day, we all have to face a critic who's a very strong personality with conflicting opinions. When in a similar situation, we should draw lessons from Rama by staying calm and composed and offer a thoughtful and sensible response that is strong and respectful. Parshurama realizes the person standing in front of him is Mahavishnu and is humbled. He tells Rama, Akshayam madhuhantaram janami tvam sureshwaram dhanushasya paramarshat swastitestu parantapa. Here we can see how Parshurama immediately realizes his mistake and concedes to Rama gracefully. In life, we often encounter people putting forth criticisms or arguments that are rational and valid. And knowing when to back down is a very important skill we can learn from Parshurama. Sahatan drishya ramena swam lokam stapasarjitan jamadagnya jagamashu mahendram parvatottamam. Rama released the arrow, taking away Parshurama's tapas and ego. Thus, Parshurama loses all of his anger and rage and leaves for Mahendra. Here ends the Kandam of Balarama. Let's continue to Ayodhya Kandam and see what we can learn from the stories of Lord Sri Ram.
Thank you, Shriman. Over to you, Vasmati Kana.
Hello, everybody. My name is Vasumati, and I'm so honored to be a part of this momentous occasion in this event. Today, I'm going to start talking about Ayodhya Karnam. I've broken it up into two sections. The first one is I'm going to give you guys a brief summary of the whole Kandam. And after that, I will go into the lessons that we can learn from this Kandam. So let's starting with the Ayodhya Kandam. So the first event that mainly occurs is Dasharatha wants to crown Rama as king. He's getting older and he wants to crown Rama, his first son, as king. And everybody in the kingdom is so happy about that, including Kaikeyi, Kausalya, Sumitra, Dasharatha, everybody, all of his subjects, everyone is super excited. But there is one person who is against it, and that is Mantra. Mantra poises Kaikeyi's mind and wants to send Rama to the forest and make Bharata king. So she makes Kaikeyi use her two boons that she got from Dasharatha and uses them now to send Rama to the forest. Dasharatha is upset, but because he didn't want to upset Kaikeyi anymore, he decides to tell Rama to go to the forest and exile for 14 years. Rama accepts willingly and complies with Dasharatha's wish and gets ready to go to the forest. In this slokam right here, we can see that Rama accepts Dasharatha's wish absolutely willingly. This slokam is Yevamastu Gamishyami Vanan Vastu Mahantvitaha Jata Jinadharo Ragnaha Pratignyam Manupalayan. And the basic meaning of this slokam is that Rama is telling Dasharatha, be it so, I will go to the forest and live there with the matted hair and deer skin to keep my promise to the king. The next event that occurs is Rama is going to the forest. So when Rama goes to the forest, Sita and Lakshmana insist on going with Rama, though he insists on them staying back. But after Sita and Lakshmana insisting Rama for a long time, he decides to take them with him. And they go to the Dandakaranya forest and they meet with sage Bharadwaja, who then instructs them to go to Chitrakoot. This slokam right here demonstrates how Rama
Rama willingly listened to Bharadwaja's instructions and did exactly as he said. Itipantana mavedya maharshissanya vartata abhivadya tate tyuktva ramena vinivartitaha. And in this slokam, basically the meaning is that after Bharadwaja explained to Rama exactly the path that he needs to go and exactly where he needs to go to start his exile, Rama willingly complies, and he takes the blessings from sage Bharadwaja, sorry, and continues on with his mission. The next event that happens is Bharata goes in search of Rama. So when Bharata finds out that Kaikeyi sent Rama to the forest, he is so angry. He does not want to profit from Rama being sent to the forest. So what he does is he goes in search of Rama in the forest with his whole army. After he finds Rama, he falls at his feet and begs for him to come back. But Rama, he stands his grounds and says, I am not going to come back. I made a promise to my father that I will complete my exile in the forest, and until I finish that, I'm not going to come back. And then what ends up happening is that after Bharata pleads and pleads and pleads, Rama gives Bharata his padukai, and Bharata takes it back to Ayodhya and has the padukai rule Ayodhya through him while Rama is on his exile. This shlokam right here explains the scene of what is happening after when Bharata receives Rama's padukai. In this slokam, Bharata is basically saying that Rama, he's the tormentor of enemies. He's a hero. He's wearing matted locks and the bark garments. He's living on the fruits and roots, and he's placing the responsibility of ruling the whole kingdom on his sandals. And Bharata is saying he looks forward to Rama's arrival and says that he will reside outside of the city for 14 years while Rama is exiled. So now let's come to the lessons that we can learn. There are three main lessons that I found in Ayodhya Karnam that we can take in our regular life. The first one is holding our composure when we have to. And this one has a bit of embedded lessons that we can also learn from it. The next one is the importance of loyalty. This lesson comes up throughout the Ramayana, and this is something we can definitely take from the Ramayana. And finally, the main lesson that we can learn from Ayodhya Karnam is respecting your parents and elders, or also known as Pitruvakya Paripalanam. So let's first talk about holding your composure when you have to. A lot of the times in life, you're going to have critics, you're going to have people disagreeing with you, and you have to hold your composure when you have to. So this shlokam right here that I have on the screen, this shlokam is basically showing a scene when Lakshmana is kind of having a little fit. After he hears that Rama is going to be sent to the forest, he tries to convince Rama to fight back and to get his princely claim to the crown back. But Rama's saying like, no, my father instructed me to go to the forest and I am going to do as he said. One of the other embedded meanings that we can learn from this is holding your grounds. So when other people approached him, so like Bharata and Vasishta, all of these people, when they approached Rama and they begged for him to come back, he stood his ground saying, I am not going to come back until I finish my exile because I promised my father, who's also the king, that I will be exiled. So another thing that we can learn from here is picking the battles that you fight. So one of the things is when he approached Lakshmana, he was very calm and composed about it. But like when he was with Vasishta and Bharata, he was not so calm and composed. He was a little bit more like very strong on what he was saying. So again, that's one thing we can learn from Rama is picking the battles that you fight, because you can't fight every battle in life and win everything. The next lesson that we can learn from Ayodhya Karnam is the importance of loyalty. And this lesson comes up all throughout the Ramayana, which is one of the most important things that we can learn. And this comes up throughout the Ayodhya Kanda multiple times. But the scene that I thought was very important that demonstrates this lesson is when Bharata is taking Rama's Padukai. So in this slokam that I have right here on the screen, this is explaining how after Bharata takes Rama's Padukai, he's telling Rama, if you do not come back after 14 years, I will enter blazing fire, no questions asked. And that's something that demonstrates how loyal he was to Rama. He was so loyal that he was even willing to throw himself in a fire because he was that loyal to his brother and did not want to rule the kingdom whatsoever. He was willing to put himself through a fire so that way to show his loyalty to Rama. And that's something that we can all learn from Bharata about the importance of loyalty. Because throughout life, there will be many people that will betray you and do bad things to you. But we should always be loyal to the people that have our best interests at heart. And finally, the most important lesson that we can learn from Ayodhya Kandam is easily Pitruvakya Paripalanam. And this is the biggest thing that Rama demonstrates in this Kandam. Throughout this Kandam, the whole purpose of him is he's trying to keep his father's word. And in this slokam that I have on my screen right now, Rama is kind of saying, because my father, who is my well-wisher, my guru, and with a sense of gratitude, above all a king, I shall not without hesitation do what pleases him. And also what he says in the next upcoming slokams is that even if it costs me my life, I'll still do whatever my father asks me to do, which shows us the importance of respecting your parents and your elders, which Rama does throughout this Kandam. This is also one of the things that we can that's mentioned in the Vedams to show how important it is that we respect our elders and our parents. This was such an important lesson in Ayodhya Kandam that even Swami Desikan mentions it in his Raghuvira Gadyam. Raghuvira Gadyam is basically the shortened version of Valmiki's Ramayana, which our Acharya Swami Desikan has written. And he wrote in his Ayodhya Kandam, the first slokam is Anrithabhaya Mushita Hridaya Pitruvachana Palana Pratignya Vagnata Yovarajya. And in this slokam, Swami Desikan is saying, you are the Rama that promised to obey your father's orders and set aside your princely claim to the crown, which shows how Rama was really trying to follow the orders that his father gave him, and shows Pitruvakya Paripalanam. And that's why this is one of the most important lessons that we can learn in Ayodhya Kandam, that even Swami Desikan mentions it in his shortened Raghuvira Gadyam. So these are the lessons that we can learn from Ayodhya Kandam. And now we're going to look into what we can learn in Aranya Kandam.
Thank you for a very, very well-made presentation, Vasmati Kanna. That was very clear, lucid, and very, very understandable to all audience. Also, you had placed all the Pramana Shlokams corresponding to the points that you were mentioning on the side. A lot of credit to you for that. I just want to take a second to summarize Sriman's Balakandam and Vasumati's Ayodhya Kandam real quick before we jump into Sanstita's Aranya Kandam here. Just to break in the monotony so you can summarize and then go forward, because it's a huge topic that these brave kids are taking up here to summarize the whole Ramayana, 24,000 slokams, dear viewers. So what Sriman was doing very well was, I noted down like 3 points. He very eloquently narrated the conversation between Narada and Valmiki to identify the person who was the man of virtue or the embodiment of dharma. Right? All of those attributes, 16 attributes, Sriman very, very nicely pointed out. And I also want to give him credit for the fantastic pictures. You might not have seen these pictures anywhere because guess what? Those were AI generated technology being taken advantage of here. So credit to Sriman for that. And a very well made presentation. He talked about the Narada Valmiki conversation of who is worthy of being written upon in a Adikavyam called Ramayana. And Narada shows him that yes, there is a certain person. He's called Sri Ramachandra, and he gives all of his narration that you might have heard from Sriman. And second point is the Tataka Maricha Vadam. He was just barely a teenager at that point, and he applied all of the learnings that he learned from his teachers in Dhanur Yuddham in attacking Tataka and Maricha, which is a lesson in managing stress. And the third point really is dealing with Parashuramar, which is a very captivating scene in Ramayana, because Parashuramar, everybody knows, is the son of Jamadagni, who vowed to wipe away the clan of Kshatriyas. And Rama, being a Kshatriya, just got married a day or two before, and he's being confronted by Parashurama. Dasharatha is almost completely stressed. His throat is getting parched. He has no words. He cries and tells, if something happens to Rama, guess what, Parashurama? All of us will be dead. We can't live without Rama, and everybody is stressed, doesn't know what to do. While Parashurama hands over the Vishnu Dhanush to Rama, Rama not only strings it, he locks an arrow and shoots it, targets right back at Parashurama and subdues him down, while Parashurama is still in awe of Rama's power, to even string Vishnu's bow. So that was very nice, how eloquently and nicely the Balakandam was summarized. And one thing that stood out from Vasumati's presentation was, in these days, emotional quotient is more important than intelligence quotient. IQ is more of an older, trend. EQ is the most apt thing for the situation here nowadays, because that's what turns people into leaders of group of people or leaders of groups of leaders. Emotional quotient, on how you retain your composure. I think Vasumati nailed it when she spent so much time about how Rama held his composure even when he was in utter disappointment at the face of adversity, where he was going to be crowned king. But then he was told he was not going to be crowned king, but he kept his composure so well. And it's not just that he was unable to retort back, that he kept his composure. Vasumati pointed out that he did not budge even when Vasishta and Bharata forced him to come back to Ayodhya. So that underlines the emotional quotient of Rama, who was a great king that we can learn as a lesson for today. Obviously, anybody that talks about Rama will talk about Pitruvakya Paripalanam. So I'm totally stumped and bowled by the fluency and the pramanams these kids have quoted so far. I'm very excited, because now we are going into the more juicy parts of Aranyakandam and all the other parts of Ramayanam. So without taking much time away, giving it over to Sanstita. Come on in.
Dhanyasvi Mama.
Mhm.
Let me share my screen. Okay. எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியுறதா?
Yes.
Awesome. Okay. Asmadgurubhyo namaha. Adiyan everyone. I'm Samsthita, and it is my bhagyam to be a part of today's event. So as Narayana Prasad Mama said, I'll be going over the Aranya Kandam today. The Varta Aranyam itself, meaning the forest, describes what this Kandam is majorly about. We'll be covering the highlights of Rama's journey into the Dandaka forest and viewing how, despite the immense challenges Rama faced, he did not sway away from the path of Dharma, and he stayed true to his name of being the epitome of Dharma. So one of the most important instances of Prapati in the Ramayana occurs in this Kandam, which is none other than the tale of Kakasura. So during their Vishranti time, Rama and Sita are enjoying each other's company when the crow demon Kakasura approaches and begins to peck at Tayar's chest. And without saying a word, Tayar is just quietly sitting as blood starts oozing out of her wound, which is when Rama is awakened to the sight of the blood-stained nails of Kakasura. So Rama unleashes the Brahmastra and against Kakasura, and he's running everywhere, unable to find any other devata who's able to protect him. So he eventually comes back to Rama and surrenders, which is shown in this slokam. Sapitracha padityaktaha suraihi sarvaihi maharshibhihi treen lokan samparikramya tvameva sharanam gataha. So roaming the 3 worlds in search of a savior, that crow was abandoned by Indra, its father, the celestials, and the sages. And finally, it sought refuge in the same Rama. So when Kakasura came and did Prapati for Prapati for Rama, it is said that he was not even sure how to properly do Namaskaram. He didn't even know how to do that at all. His body was crooked and his legs were pointing towards Rama, not away. But Tayar, being the epitome of compassion and karunyam, ended up positioning him in the correct way to do Namaskaram. And then Kakasura was able to perform Prapati to Rama.
which is exemplified in this shloka. Satam nibatitam bhumau sharanya sharanaagatam vadarhamapi kakutstha kripaya paryapalayah. That Rama, who affords protection, was compassionate and protected that crow, which fell on the ground in salutation to Rama, and sought for protection even though it was apt to be killed. So from this, we can learn how even though Tayar was hurt, Sita Parati did not demand punishment for Kakasura and even helped him perform Sharanagati to Perumal. So we must also learn how to forgive very easily and be as compassionate as she is. Okay, awesome. So next we'll go into the details of Shabari Moksham. So we're told that Shabari served for Matanga Maharishi in his ashramam near Rishyamukha. And as he was attaining Perumal's Tiruvadi, he gave anugraham to Shabari by telling her to wait for Sri Rama, who would come to her, bless her, and anugraham pannuvar. So Shabari continued her tasks at the ashram every single day, and she would clean, keep it ready, and she'd wake up every day wondering if this was the day that she would finally meet Rama. And she spent many, many, many years waiting for Perumal, who was on his way to come and see her. So that day finally arrived where both Rama and Lakshmana came to Shabari's ashramam. And then when she saw him, she says that she feels that the purpose of her birth has been fulfilled only upon seeing Rama. So she took care of him, and then she did Pada Puja, and in this form, she was able to do Prapati to Perumal as Sage Matanga Maharishi had foretold, and she joined him in as well in Sri Vaikuntham. So from Shabari, we can see that our Sampradayam's message that we consistently emphasize is present, which is how important Atita Acharya Bhakti and Nambikai is. So Shabari had no idea who Rama was, what he looks like, or when he will even come. She just listened to her Acharya without questioning anything, and she waited almost 13 years for Perumal's arrival. And she lived every single day with the anticipation that he would arrive, and completed her chores and activities with Perumal's Namasmaranam just running through her mind consistently, which is very important for us in this day as well to inculcate in our daily activities. This Atita Acharya Bhakti allowed her to ultimately attain Perumal's Tiruvadi, as her Acharya paved the way for her to do so. But not just this kada exemplifies the compassion of Rama and how much acceptance and lack of judgment that he had for other people. Despite Shabari being a very, very old and frail woman, he only saw her as a bhakta and for the immense love that she had for him. And if you go to Shloka 41 of the Aranyakandam in the Raghavira Gadyam, written by Swami Desikan, Avandhya Mahima Munijana Bhajana Mushita Hridaya Kalusha Shabari Moksha Sakshi Bhuta. So this above shloka basically says how Swami Desikan does not use the Sanskritam equivalent of Shabari attained moksha, but he specifically says Sakshi Bhuta, which says that Rama was the witness of Shabari attaining moksha. So next comes the very famous Surpanaka Vadam, and I know we all have heard of this story multiple times, so I won't go too much in depth in terms of the background. However, I'd like to quote words directly from Surpanaka herself, which is essentially her reaction towards seeing Rama and Lakshmana for the first time. Tarunau Rupa Sampannau Sukumaro Mahabalo Pundarika Visalakshau Chira Krishna Ajinambaro. And the next sloka is Phala Mula Ashinau Dantau Tapasau Brahmacharinau Putro Dasharathastham Bhratrau Rama Lakshmanau. So although being the Rakshasi she is, and despite her attacking Sita Pirati, she cannot help but comment on the absolute beauty of Rama and Lakshmana, that Aishwaryam that no one other than Perumal can have. She mentions how though they're clothed in rags and deerskin, only wearing the wooden jewelry, they still have the wonderful features of a Veera Raja Kshatriya, and their beauty surpasses that of anyone else. And then she follows up with this shloka, which is Gandharva Raja Pratimo Parthiva Vyanjananvitau Devo Va Danavo Manushau Vato Na Tarkaitu Mutsahe, which is having all the aspects of kings, they equal the kings of Gandharva celestials. And I am ill-disposed to differentiate whether these two are gods or demons. Imagine how beautiful Rama and Lakshmana must have been to elicit this reaction from someone who is their enemy. Not just this, but even Marichan, who had met Rama previously, advised Surpanaka in this famous Pramanam Shlokam. Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha Sadhu Satya Parakramaha Raja Sarvasya Lokasya Devanam Iva Vasavaha. Rama is the embodiment of righteousness. He is an equable person with truthfulness as his valor, as is with Indra to all gods. He is the king of the entire world. Rama's principles alone make him victorious, as he does not deviate from the path of righteousness. And by not deviating from this path of righteousness, he is truly valorous, and the question of his defeat does not arise, because he will abide by his conscience. Rama is referred to as the Ripunamapi Vatsalaha by Garuda during the Nagapasha Vimochanam for this reason. He is so benevolent that even his enemies end up loving him as well. Maricha was chided by Ravana later for so-called being too scared to fight Rama, who was just sent to the forest by his father. But to this, Maricha stands up to Ravana and tells him that he is greatly mistaken. He quotes on seeing his father, who is a proponent of truth, and whom Kaikeyi is outwitted, that virtue-souled Rama neatly decamped from Ayodhya, saying that I will prove my father to be a real proponent of truth. So once again, it is proven that Rama's strict adherence to the truth and being on the right side of Dharma has brought him great appreciation from even his enemies, who understand what a great feat it really is to really be honest all the time. This misunderstanding of Ravana is what will eventually lead him to his demise, as not knowing the value of sticking to Dharma in every word you say will eventually bring upon your downfall. And finally, we conclude this section of Aranyakandam with the story of Jatayu Moksham. It is very important for us as Sri Vaishnavas to never forget the sacrifices that these characters in the Ramayana have made, and Jatayu is no exception. Though he himself was a very, very old and frail bird, when he came across the sight of a helpless Sita Pirati being kidnapped by Ravana, he did not hesitate to use all of his strength to protect her and even give his life for her. He even states to Ravana during battle, Vruddhoham tvam yuva dhanvi sa ratha kavachi shari nachapi adhyaya kushali vaidehim nagamishyasi. You are youngish, whereas I am oldish. You are an armored archer darting arrows from an air chariot, whereas I am a pensile bird in an open sky. Nevertheless, on taking Vaidehi, you cannot abscond safely. Jatayu knew that he wouldn't win the battle against Ravana, as his strength was in no way comparable to that of the mighty Rakshasa king. And yet, he was willing to give up his life to be on the right side of Dharma and repay his debt to Dasharatha. He promises Sita, Nahime Jivamanasya Naishyasi Shubham Imam Sitam Kamalapatraakshim Ramasya Mahishim Priyam. When I am alive, you cannot lead away this auspicious lotus-leaved-eyed Sita, the dear queen of Rama. When on his deathbed, he comes across Rama and Lakshmana when he also performs Papatitha Perumal and attains his Tiruvadi at this point. But at this point, it's very important to realize that Rama stayed behind and performed Jatayu's Antima Karyam and only then continued his search for Sita. This is a very, very important lesson to understand, which is to never forget gratitude and always make sure to give back to the people who do a favor for you. And Rama made sure that he did not forget this important lesson at this point in the Aranyakandam. So these events set the stage for the subsequent books in the Ramayana, leading to the ultimate confrontation between Rama and Ravana in the Yuddha Kanda. But for now, we'll be moving on to the next Kandam in the Ramayana, which is the Kishkinda Kanda.
Fantastic, very nice, Sanstita. That was very clear and eloquent presentation. I have made notes. So I will summarize after every two kandams. So the first time I did after Vasumati, next time after this Kishkinda Kandam, Aranya Kandam and Kishkinda Kandam, I'll summarize after Shriman. And then finally, we'll come back around for Sundara Kandam and Yuddha Kandam, and I'll summarize after what Sanstita said. So thank you very much. That was very nice and smooth. Let me hand it over to Shriman right now, and we'll summarize after that. Thank you so much.
We will now proceed into Kishkinda Kanda, and I again have the honor of introducing another great hero of Srimad Ramayana. The importance of Kishkinda Kandam lies in the fact that many of the pivotal characters in Sundara Kandam and Yuddha Kandam are introduced. In this Kandam, Hanuman, Sugriva, the Vanras, and the relative location of Sita are all introduced. Rama and Lakshmana, upon reaching the Kishkinda region near the Rishyamukha Parvata, encounters a sannyasi. This sannyasi is none other than Hanuman, who approaches Rama and Lakshmana. Cautiously, after Sugriva mentions he saw two warriors near the river Pampa, the sannyasi states, Rajarishi Deva Pratimau Tapasau Samsita Vratau Desham Katamimam Praptau Bhavantau Varavarninau Trasayantau Mrigaganan Anyam Shavanacharinaha. Hanuman approaches the strangers, asking them to introduce themselves, while wondering why they look like warriors with bows and arrows, but they're dressed like tapasvis. Upon revealing their identities to each other, Rama says, Tamabhyabhasha saumitre sugriva sachivam kapim vakyam madureir vakyai sneha yuktamarin vakyajnam madureir vakyai sneha yuktamarindhama, asking Lakshmana to reply well to Hanuman. Rama was clearly impressed with Hanuman and observes Hanuman's appearance and body language, also his speaking style. Some of Rama's observations are Rama mentions Na Rigveda Vinitasya Na Yajurveda Dharinaha Na Samaveda Vidusha Shakyamevam Vibhashitam. Unless well versed in Rigveda, Yajurveda, and Samaveda, for sure it's not possible for anyone to articulate so well. In Rigveda, every letter has many different phonetical variations, in many ways to mean many things. So it is very hard to contain that knowledge unless a person has complete control over it. Hence the word Vinita, well trained, is used. In Yajurvedam, many anuvakas occur repeatedly with a different utilization. Remembering not to mix one with the other is a difficult process. Hence, the recitalist has to have extreme remembrance. In Samaveda, the pitch and duration is of high importance, having 7 swaras and elongated recitation, needing perfect vocal notes. Therefore, Rama is referring to the tone and way Hanuman spoke, reflected that he is a scholar of the three Vedas. And and the next thing that Rama describes is the appearance of Hanuman, saying, Namuke netrayor vapi lalate cha bhravostatha Anyeshvapi chan ghatreshu doshasam vidita kvachit. Here we can see the importance of presentation and maintaining a good appearance. The meaning of this sloka is, no fault can be found in his face, eyes, forehead, between his eyebrows, or any other part of his body during his expression. Perception of how we look can affect hugely of how others perceive us and how we perceive ourselves. It can enhance our image and help in social, professional, and personal situations. Posture, hairstyle, and clothing reveal a lot about people in a short span of time. So from here we can learn from Hanuman that having good body language, good posture, and maintaining a strong facial structure can help achieve our goal. Avistarana masandignam mavilambita madhrutam arastam kantagam vakyam vartate madhyamesware. His sentences are not too elaborate, not ambiguous, not dragging, not fast. Voice raised in the chest or throat, in a medium tone. They are refined, neither fast nor slow. His utterances captivate the heart. His words are auspicious, and whose mind, and even an enemy holding a sword will adore his words. We can see the importance of speaking in the right way, helping us communicate more effectively. Here we can see how Hanuman avoided the recitation mistakes, which we can apply in everyday communication. Doubting, fearing, shouting, unclear, nasal, shrieking, high pitched, and improper sounds, improper sound placement, melodyless, rudely, rendering negative meaning, chaotic, mouth sounds, and mouth sounds are the 14 recitation mistakes. By avoiding these, Hanuman spoke in a strong and effective way. Evam गुणगणैर्युक्ता यस्य स्युः साधकाः तस्य सिद्धन्ति सर्वार्था धुतवाक्य प्रचोदिताः. Rama also praises Hanuman, where he appreciates Hanuman's diplomatic skills and commends that he has such great qualities that can help his goals be accomplished. These diplomatic skills are required by all of us every day to avoid conflicts, build positive relationships, and influence others for the betterment of our society through communication. Here, Rama concludes his points about Hanuman's communication style. Hanuman took Rama to the cave, and Rama and Sugriva form a powerful friendship. Rama and Sugriva take oath to help each other in front of a holy fire. Tatognim deepyamanantau chakratushcha pradakshinam Sugrivo ragavaschaiva vayasyatvamupagatau. This alliance teaches us how alliances should be formed between kings or individuals by following dharma. In life, we often meet people with common interests and goals, but we should always keep in mind that these interests should fall in the path of righteousness and dharma. Rama could have sought Vali's alliance, as stated by Vali later in the Kishkinda Kandam, and become more powerful and effective to find Sita. But he showed us the path of dharma by helping the weaker and exploited brother Sugriva. Here, Rama showcased his quality of dharmagnya. Pranashthashriश्च कीर्तिश्च कपिराजञ्च शाश्वतम् Ramaprasadat Saumitre punah praptamidam maya. After killing Vali and making Sugriva the king of Kishkinda, Rama and Sugriva agreed to wait until the end of Varsha Rita, or the rainy season, to begin the search of Sita. Sugriva forgot his promise. After seeing Lakshmana's righteous anger, Sugriva immediately realizes his mistake and apologizes in this sloka. In here, Sugriva apologizes that he made a mistake. He attributes his fame and prosperity to Rama and begins the search of Sita. This incident is very important, as here Lakshmana is in the place of Acharya. Rama immediately forgives his friend and begins to search for Sita, showing that if an Acharya is calm, then Perumal will lose his anger. But if the Acharya is angry, then Perumal will also be angry. Sugriva sends his army in all directions around the world, showing us a brief description of the then geography of the world map. With the help of Sampati, they are able to determine that Sita might be in Lanka. Hanuman embarks on his adventurous journey to Lanka. Hanuman leaps into the air, soaring into the sky like Rama's arrow being shot into the sky. सवेगवान् वेगसमाहितात्मा हरिप्रवीरः परिवीरहन्ता मनस्समाधाय महानुभाव जगामलङ्का मनसा मनस्वी. Thus ends the Kishkinda Kanda and begins the most important kanda of Srimad Valmiki Ramayana. Dhanyavad.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shriman. That was very nice. I'll come back to talk about the pictures. They are actually, to be to say in Sanskrit, it's called Romanchitam or goosebumps. But I'll come back to give credit about the pictures after I summarize Sanstita's excellent presentation. So, so what I was going to say is, Sanskita started off with Kakasura Vrittantam, and Kakasura Vrittantam is one of the major Sharanagati topics, which underlines not only Rama's compassion, but also Sita's compassion, because like how she pointed out, Kakasura runs around the world and comes back and falls at the feet of Rama, and he doesn't even know how to fall at the feet of a person that you are seeking apology to. He's falling with his legs squatted straight into Rama's face. And is that a way to even fall at anybody's feet, is what Sita thinks. And in spite of her being the victim of Kakasura's, attack, she still takes compassion over Kakasura, turns his head around to Rama's legs, and makes him as though he looks prostrating in front of Rama. So maybe Rama can take more compassion and somehow reduce the power of the Brahmastra. Likewise, Rama, adhering to Sita's recommendation, takes away just one eye of Kakasura and leaves him to go alive. So that's how Perumal and Tayar together show compassion, where Tayar's compassion shines a notch higher than Lord Rama's compassion here in Kakasura Vrittantam. And like she pointed out, there was very important references from Shurpanaka and Maricha, even enemies praising Rama. Further down the line, we can see in Yuddha Kandam, I think Sansita will cover more about how Ravana is in awe of Lord Rama. But Ramo Vigrahavan Dharmaha is a very famous Pramana Shlokam from Srimad Ramayana, which is actually mentioned by Maricha. He was dragged along by Rama's arrow, thrown over the ocean and brought back, and he fell on the land. Well, Shurpanaka and Maricha were devoured by Rama. But you will also see Maricha's reference later, further in Srimad Ramayana. And that's when he does his act and gets killed. But you have praise to Lord Rama even from his enemies. That is one great characteristic for us to learn in today's world, to be compassionate and to also be genuine and exude empathy even to the enemies. So the respect that you get is not just from your friends and fans, but also from your challengers. I don't expect that the kids here will have any enemies, but I'm saying when you are being challenged, when you have a competition, when you have an adversary, when you are going, very passionate, when you are going very passionate on your endeavor, you could find a lot of obstacles, but you have to deal them with grace and learn from Lord Rama to be respected by people from the other side of the aisle. That's a very, very, very commendable and admirable character, which will go a long way for people of the younger generation in nowadays. And also she talks about Jatayu, how Jatayu stood up for the right thing in spite of knowing he was no match for Ravana, right? He clearly says that when I am alive, you shall not depart with Sita, right? That clearly shows that he knows as long as he can keep his ground, he can somehow expect Rama to come and have a fight with Ravana and save Sita. But the point really there is he stands up for the right thing in spite of knowing that he is at a great disadvantage. So these were very, very depthly narrated by Sanskita, and thank you so much to her for that. And we will go to the summary of Kishkinda Kandam, where you know what, I'm lost of words for the pictures that Sriman had. Those pictures, I tell you, are really giving me goosebumps when I saw, particularly about when Hanuman was soaring in the air to go to Lanka in the last slide, and many other pictures, because you cannot find those pictures anywhere on Google or Bing or anything. These are properly created by Sriman himself. I think he must even trademark it somehow to keep it himself, because those look, and particularly the picture where Hanuman, he talked about the non-Rigveda Vinitasya Yajurveda Dharinaha, Nasama Vedopatirato Edad Bhashanam Uchyate and Avistaram Asandigdam. The face of Hanuman that he had made there exactly reflected the mood of what he was trying to communicate. As all of us know, a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. So those pictures clearly communicated what he was going to say on top of the slokams that he was mentioning. So he brings up the communicative skills of Lord Hanuman. I don't want to drag too much time because there is still 2 more kandams left, but I'll just stop with just this one point. Hanuman's logic laced conversations. He looks at Rama and Lakshmana and says, you look like great people. Your muscles are bulging out from your chest, hands, shoulders, and thighs and whatnot. But you are here fighting cows, elephants, deer, and you look like devas, but you are in the forest. Your body looks like you are kshatriyas and you are super powerful and you can do great things, but your face and eyes are very benevolent and sympathetic. So your body doesn't match your eyes. And the third thing is, since your eyes look benevolent and you look very shastric and dharmic, but your weapons are very sharp, that looks like that can slay any enemy of any size, of any demon of any size. So all of these contradictions confuse me, gentlemen. So why don't you just tell who you are? So when Hanuman says very, very strong, conversations with extreme logic, it persuades the other person to open up and reach out the hand of friendship, and Hanuman establishes that very eloquently, and with great pictures from Sriman, we were able to see that, and also that point that Sriman mentioned about, if you please Acharya, and if you are in the good looks of Acharya, the good books of Acharya, you are automatically forgiven by Perumal. But the contrary does not work. If you are in the good books of Perumal and you get cross with the Acharyan, you are doomed. There is no way to escape. So that is a very, very insightful lesson that Sriman had. So, and he had many, many more good points that he laid out, but I'll stop here. And Vali very clearly says, when Rama shoots Vali down in the fight, Vali clearly says, oh Rama, instead of going to this stupid and weak Sugriva, if you made friends with me, I would have threatened Ravana to submit Sita in 1 narike within 24 minutes. I would have threatened Ravana, tormented Ravana, and had Sita submitted to you within a narike. Why did you choose to go with Sugriva? I could have helped you even better. And you needn't have killed me. And Rama says, you know what, my friend Vali, even if I were your friend, I would have killed you for your own good, because you are doing acts of adharma. So he was not looking for power, or he was not looking for companionship or partnership to make him stronger, but he was standing by the path of dharma. And Sugriva was in the path of dharma, even though he was weak, he was oppressed, and he was chased away from his kingdom. Rama stood up for the oppressed, for the weak, and for the person that's following dharma. That's another great lesson to learn. Thanks so much, everybody, for holding on to us for these 4 kandams. We will have 2 more kandams with the Sundara Kandam, the major, the most beautiful kandam of Srimad Ramayanam, and hand it over to Vasumati to take it away here. And we'll come back after 2 kandams for a summary. Over to you, Vasumati.
Thank you, Mama. So now I'm going to talk about Sundarakandam, which is easily the most beautiful kandam. So I first want to start off with a slokam about why it's called Sundarakandam. So this slokam goes like this: Sundare Sundaro Ramaha, Sundare Sundari Katha, Sundare Sundari Sita, Sundare Sundaram Vanam, Sundare Sundaram Kavyam, Sundare Sundarah Kapihi, Sundare Sundaram Mantram, Sundare Kim Na Sundaram. And basically what this slokam is saying, in Sundarakandam, Rama is beautiful. The story is beautiful. Sita is beautiful. The Ashoka garden is beautiful. The Kavyam is beautiful. The Hanuman is beautiful, and also his name is Sundara. And the mantram is beautiful. What is there that is not beautiful in Sundarakandam? Hence the name Sundarakandam. So, again, let's start with a brief summary. First things first, Hanuman goes to Lanka. So Hanuman becomes huge and he leaps to go to Lanka. But on his way, he meets a lot of obstacles and challenges. And those include the Mainaka Parvatam, Surasa, Simhika, and Jayagrahi. But throughout all of those challenges, he didn't get distracted and was determined to reach Lanka to find Sita. In this slokam right here, Pravishtosmi hite vaktran dakshayani namostute gamishye yatra vaidehi satyan chasi dvarastava. In this slokam, Hanuman is telling Dakshayani or Surasa that he entered her mouth and completed her boon that Brahma gave her. And now he is telling her, please let me go on my quest for Sita. My salutations to you. And one thing we can learn from Hanuman in this situation is we should never get distracted, especially when there is a lot of obstacles in our way, but also try to make everyone happy along the way, which he definitely did. He made Surasa happy while he still got to go ahead with his journey. The next thing that happens is Hanuman searches for Sita in Lanka. So he searches everywhere in Lanka for Sita. When he goes to Ravana's palace, he sees Mandodari, but mistakes her for Sita. There's a slokam in Valmiki's Ramayana that explains how excited that Hanuman was because he thought Mandodari was Sita. However, he realized that no, that wasn't Sita, and continues to search for her. He prays to Rama to find Sita, and then he gets the idea that she'd be next to a body of water. And so then he kills Lankini and finds Sita in the Ashokavanam. In this slokam right here of Namostu Ramaya cha Lakshmanaya Devyai cha tasye Janakatmajaye. In this slokam, basically Hanuman is praying to Rama, Lakshmana, Sita, and all the gods, and he prays to them so that way he can find Sita very easily. And after he finds Sita in Ashokavanam, there's kind of a little bit of a dialogue between the two. So Sita is being tortured constantly by the Rakshasis in Ashokavanam due to Ravana's orders. And Sita tries to kill herself because she's so sad that like Rama has not come to save her and she can't bear the torture and separation from Rama any longer. But then Hanuman intervenes with Ramanama, something that is sacred to both of them, to make her listen to what he has to say to build his credibility while also stopping her from killing herself. And then Hanuman presents Rama's ring to Sita, or the Anguliyakam, and offers to take her back. But she refuses, saying that she is going to wait for Rama to take her back. And this slokam right here that I have on the screen kind of shows Hanuman's thought process of intervening with Ramanama. Basically, what he's saying in this slokam is that he should present like the great words of the esteemed Rama, from the Ikshvaku family, and who's the knower of self, and make Sita listen to everything in such a sweet manner that she will trust me. Thus, Hanuman is building his credibility while also trying to kind of calm Sita down with the sacred words of Ramanama. And he's in the slokams that follow, he narrates the Ramayana. Hanuman narrates the Ramayana to Sita, where Sita listens and she says, please don't stop, I want to hear more. And now, after the conversation between Hanuman and Sita, Hanuman punishes Lanka and goes back. So here's what happens. Hanuman voluntarily submits to Indrajit to meet Ravana. When he meets Ravana, he tries to warn him of the consequences of kidnapping Sita. Hanuman tells Ravana, like, if you don't bring Sita respectfully, Rama will come and kill you. You're going to lose everything. You'll lose all the people you love. You're going to lose everything. So you should just bring Sita back to Rama respectfully. But, Ravana doesn't agree. So he sets Hanuman's tail on fire. And what Hanuman does is he punishes all of Lanka by lighting the whole island on fire. And then he returns to convey to Rama what exactly happened. And here's the lessons that I thought that we can learn from Sundarakandam. Obviously, this is a huge Kandam and there's so much that we can learn from it. But these are the top 4 things that I think we can learn from Sundarakandam. One is doing your due diligence or doing your own research. The other one was the importance of loyalty. Like I said before, this comes up multiple times throughout the Ramayana, which is especially an important lesson that we can learn today. The next one is the importance of patience. And finally, the importance of forgiveness and compassion. So let's start with doing your due diligence. Especially nowadays with social media going around everywhere. One thing that we people know is that not everything you see on social media is real. You need to do your own due diligence, do your own research, to confirm all the facts that you learn on social media. And Hanuman is a great example showing us of how we should always do our due diligence. So in this shlokam that I have on the screen, Hanuman is thinking to himself when he sees Mandodari, he thinks that Sita, but then realizes that can't be Sita. But here's why he thinks that. He thinks that because Sita never in a million years would be under Ravana's roof, happily sleeping like Mandodari was. That's how he knew immediately that wasn't Sita. And because he was able to realize that, he did his own research and then was able to find Sita very quickly, which is something we can learn from Hanuman. Doing your due diligence or doing your own research is something very critical to today's world, and we should thank Hanuman for teaching us this lesson in Sundarakandam. In this slokam, he's saying that because he immediately realizes that Sita would only be next to a body of water and not under Ravana's roof, he comes to the realization that, like, this lovely lotus pond in Ashokavarnam is frequented by flocks of aquatic birds, and surely Sita will come to this place. That's how he was able to know that Sita is in the Ashokavarnam. The next thing that we can learn is the importance of loyalty. Like I said before, there's many instances of this throughout the Sundarakandam, including Hanuman's loyalty to Rama, Sita's loyalty to Rama. There's so many instances of this. But the one that I have right up here is about Sita's loyalty to Rama. So as Sita was being tortured by the Rakshasis in Ashokavanam, and Ravana comes to ask Sita to marry him, Sita says, no, I'm not going to marry you. And this shlokam, she's telling Ravana that I can reduce you to fire by myself. I don't need anyone's help for that. But I want to wait for Rama to come and take me, because I know my Rama will come and kill you, establish Dharma, and take me back safely. Which shows Sita's utmost love, devotion, and loyalty to Rama, her Mahavishwasam to Rama, which is something that we can learn, being loyal to those people that truly deeply love us, are devoted to us. That's something that we can definitely learn from Sita, is that the importance of loyalty, especially in this kanda. The next one that we can learn is the importance of patience. So nowadays, when we're talking about patience, a lot of people are quick to come to conclusions, especially now, and they're not patient. And one thing that we like when you're doing something that's like a really daunting task, like Rama searching for Sita, something that you need to show is patience, because especially when you're faced with daunting tasks, you're not patient, you tend to do things very quickly. You're not thinking about what you're doing. You're just rushing through things. And a lot of the times that can have really serious consequences. And in this kandam, Rama shows the utmost patience, as well as Sita. They both show the utmost patience to finding each other again. In this shlokam that I have on my screen right now, Hanuman is telling Sita that, like, Rama has given up his crown for the sake of establishing Dharma, and he took me into the forest. He didn't feel any fear, anxiety, or grief, but he showed patience. That's something that we definitely need to learn from Rama and Sita, because patience is something that's key to everything that we'll face in our day-to-day lives now. And finally, the most important lesson is the importance of forgiveness and compassion. This slokam that I have on my screen right now, akaryan yena janati nairtaha papakarinaha adharmatu mahotpato bhavishyati hi sanpratam naite dharman vijananti rakshasaha Shanaha. And in this slokam, Sita is telling Hanuman, when Hanuman asks Sita that if he should kill all the demons and just take her back now, Sita is telling Hanuman this. These demons have no idea that what they're doing is right or wrong. They're very unaware of dharma or adharma. And you punishing them right now for the mistakes they're making is not going to do any good because they're just doing it on Ravana's behalf. So which shows Sita Devi's compassion to all of them. She could have killed them all. She could have burned them all like she said to Ravana before, and Hanuman could have killed them as well, but she shows her compassion and forgiveness in this shlokam. And it also is similar to a shlokam that comes up in Yuddha Kandam of Papa Namba Shubha Namba. It's a very popular shlokam. And in that shlokam, Sita is saying that there's not a single person that hasn't done a mistake. And we should show kindness to everybody, even if it's someone who deserves death, a person who's almost always right, like in the side of dharma, or even if it's someone doing adharma, we should always forgive them because there's not one single person that hasn't made a mistake, which shows the importance of forgiveness and compassion, which is so vital for us today. And these are the main lessons that I had from Sundarakandam that we can learn. These are some of the most important lessons that you'll see that are so applicable to our life today. And now I'm going to let Sansita continue with Yuddha Kandam.
Thank you very much, Vasumati. That was very, very nice style of presentation that you were mentioning the lessons learned once and the corresponding pramanams next, and then also going back over the lessons again. It really drills down what you're trying to communicate in a very effective fashion. We'll summarize the content of your presentation after Sansita finishes with Yuddha Kandam. Thank you very much. Take it away, Sansita, all yours.
Thanks, Mama. Let's share. And now we are on to the grand finale of this great epic. The Yuddha Kandam describes the war against Ravana and the various strategies Rama and Lakshmana had to use to keep their cool in such a high-pressure environment. There are so many lessons to learn from this specific Kandam of the Ramayana, especially with how to deal with stressful situations. So we'll begin at the scene of the battlefield, where Rama is looking at Ravana's vast army of many demons and cavalry, and he begins to feel intimidated at its sheer greatness. There were such notorious fighters in Ravana's army, such as his son Indrajit, brother Kumbhakarna, Atikayan, Mulabalam. In fact, Mulabalam himself was twice the size of Ravana's on-ground army. And Rama would think that his Vanara Sena seemed to be no match for the large army and the powerful demons who were standing in front of him. In such an environment, what would we do? We'd probably get shocked, run away, or honestly, we'd just surrender on the spot. But Rama did none of this. Instead, he thought about his dearest wife, who was trapped in the Ashokavanam for a long 10 months, and this motivated him to continue and rejuvenated his resolve to fight. Before we move on to the next event in Yuddha Kandam, I do want to point out one specific fact about Ramar. One of Parashara Bhattar's Shishyas is narrating Ramayanam to a nearby king in Srirangam. And in that, he quotes Atmanam Manushamanye Raghavam Dasharatatmajam, which essentially means that Rama considers himself to be a normal human being and a mortal son of Dasharatha. And he states that Rama never exposed his divine powers as an avatar of Perumal anywhere in the Ramayana, and he only acts as a normal human being would. So to this, the Raja responds, while this sounds really nice, Rama performs so many miracles and feats that a normal human would never be able to replicate. Building a Ramasetu, killing Kabanda, Kara, Dushana, along with 100,000 Rakshasas single-handedly, just Rama. These tasks cannot be accomplished without divine intervention. So how is this possible? So the Shishya goes back to Parashara Bhattar and asks this question back to him, and he inquires what he should say to the Raja. And to this, Parashara Bhattar responds with this Pramanam Shloka from Ramayanam too, the words Satyena Lokan Jayati, which is Rama's desire to abide by Satya and Dharma is so strong that it helps him fight against all adharma and extreme odds, which might look daunting to other human beings. Otherwise, how would he have been able to even face the army of Ravana, let alone fight and win? It is because he always abides by Satya and Dharma, and he is the definition of Dharma, that he is able to accomplish these so-called impossible tasks. So next, we'll talk about a very, very, very important instance of Sharanagati in the Ramayana, none other than the famous Vibhishana Sharanagati. When I even utter these two words, the first shloka that should come to mind for all of us is just Sakradeva Prapannaya, the Rama Charama Shlokam. And this Charama Shlokam is Rama's response to Vibhishana's prapati towards him. So initially, Vibhishana states, Sarvaloka Sharanyaya Raghavaya Mahatmane Nivedayata Mam Kshipram Vibhishanam Upasthitam. Inform immediately to high-souled Rama, the protector of all the worlds, that I, Vibhishana, have come here. And then he also says, Soham Parushitas Tena Dasavacha Avamanitah Tyaktva Putramaha Cha Daramaha Cha Raghavam Sharanam Gataha. Reviled by him and humiliated as a slave, I, leaving my sons and my wife, have come to take refuge with Rama. Knowing that his kith and kin and remaining family is all fighting for the side of Adharma, he willingly left them behind to surrender to none other than Perumal, for he knew that Perumal will protect him and give him the mukti that we all desire, right? So nowadays, we find it so hard to drop our best friends and family if they're negatively affecting us. But Vibhishana was able to leave his entire family behind just to be on the right side of Dharma. And similarly, in response, Rama also did not discriminate against Vibhishana simply since he is from an Asura bloodline. Sugriva, who was witnessing his prapati, chimes in and asks Rama, how can you confidently bring Vibhishana into our fold and into our army? As someone who was able to just abandon his family so easily could turn against us as well and kill us when we least expect it. To which Rama responds with, O Sugriva, the lord of the monkey troops, if I wish, I can kill those devilish beings, demons, supernatural beings, and ogres living on this earth with just the tip of my finger. But in contrast, Hanuman is in favor of bringing in Vibhishana as a part of the Vanara Sena, while saying, Vibhishano astu dharmatma nathurakshasa chesthitah. And it's said by Hanuman in support of Abhaya Pradana for Vibhishana. So now will come Rama's famous Charama Shlokam, Sakradeva Prapannaya Tavasmiti Chayachate, Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo Dadamyetat Vratam Mama. He who seeks refuge in me just once, telling me that I am yours, I shall give him assurance of safety against all types of beings. This is my solemn pledge. Another important fact to mention here is that Rama promises to Vibhishana that he will make him the king of Lanka once this war is over. Now, back in those days, words were taken super seriously. So Sugriva asked, if there is the very slight off chance that Ravana surrenders and returns Sita back to you, you will also just accept her and go back to Ayodhya. So what will you do then? What will happen to the promise that you made to Vibhishana? To this, Rama shows his absolute benevolence and generosity by saying, if Ravana surrenders, I will give my throne in Ayodhya to Vibhishana and let him be king. Such was the importance of promises back in the day that Rama would even give his position just so that he is not being inadvertently dishonest towards Vibhishana. So during the instance of Indrajit shooting Lakshmana during the battle and leaving him mortally wounded, just think about how Rama must have felt. His brother, having ventured out into the forest with him for 14 long years, is now fighting for his life on the battlefield, and there's no certainty as to whether or not he will make it and survive. The feeling of guilt, apprehension, and the stress of not knowing the outcome of this battle must have been tremendous for Rama. Recognizing this, Hanuman realized that he needed to make haste and bring the Sanjeevani leaves back, both to bring back Rama's resolve and bring Lakshmana back into battle. I'm sure many of us have been in Hanuman's situation before, though probably not in the exact same way. How many times has your amma or appa asked you to go bring something from some room, but then you're unsure as to which one is the correct item to bring? I know I've been in this situation before, and 9 out of 10 times I've brought back the wrong item. So the lesson Hanuman here is teaching us is that when we do a task, we must give it our all. Hanuman could have brought back what he thought was the correct Sanjeevani Yela, but if he was wrong, he would have had to go all the way back to the mountain, and the consequences would have been immense in this high-pressure situation. Hanuman's quick thinking allowed Lakshmana to heal and continue battling in the war as a formidable warrior, where he inevitably got revenge on Indrajit by killing him. So during the context of the war, Indrajit is desperate to win against Lakshmana and Rama. He initially tries with the Naga Pasha, which renders Rama and Lakshmana both senseless. But from this incident, we learn that when you're on the right side of Dharma, the universe itself will come to your side to see you succeed in life, as Garuda was able to save both Rama and Lakshmana. So next, he concocts a plan to become invincible. He goes onto the battlefield and pulls out a beheaded Sita, and he shows Rama, "Here is your beloved wife. I have killed her, and I will now make my way to Ayodhya and kill Bharata to take the throne." Rama was shocked, and he did not know what to think. Here he was, fighting a battle, and had Sita Pirati waiting 10 plus months for his arrival, only to see her dead in front of him. The rush of emotions that Rama would have felt was tremendous. As what would he do now? So he was thinking, I just have to go back to Ayodhya. He has no other choice when he is intercepted by Vibhishana, who states that Indrajit for his part retracted by hoodwinking the monkeys. Oh, the long-armed, know that Sita, who was seemingly killed by him, is illusionary. This is a Maya Sita, which is a conjuring created by Indrajit to trick Rama and dampen his spirits to make him return back to Ayodhya. And at this point, Vibhishana also states that after reaching a sanctuary by the name Nikumbila, this Indrajit will pour oblations into the sacred fire. On returning after pouring oblations into the homam, Indrajit will prove difficult to be overcome in battle, even by celestials, including Indra. This Nikumbila Yajna was one taught to him by Brahma after performing penance for many years. The successful completion of this yajna would make Indrajit essentially invincible. No one would be able to defeat him, not even Rama. And just as he was halfway through the procedure, Rama, with his spirits reawakened, was able to destroy the ceremonial site and prevent him from receiving the reward of his homam. Imagine the wave of emotions Rama must have undergone. It is very important from this that we learn how to remain calm and composed during such stressful situations, similar to how Rama was also able to handle this situation. And finally, we're on to the last part of Yuddha Kandam, the climax of the Ramayana. At this point, most of Ravana's close confidants and Senas have realized that this is an unwinnable battle. During one of the battles itself, Rama has the decency to abide by the moral code of war and tells Ravana, "Look, you seem to be really tired, so rest up and come back tomorrow, where we can battle together again." But the arrogant Rakshasa king did not take this well, and he decided to keep fighting. With death inevitable, and with all the good Nalla omens on Rama's side, it ended up leading him to the victory of the war. So from this, we learn that it's important to pick and choose your battles, and in this case, quite literally, knowing which battles you will win and which you will lose is a very important skill that we utilize in this day and age itself, and honing it can bring to success in any situation life throws at you. And so with this, we conclude the Yuddha Kandam of the Ramayana, the end of the mighty saga that leads to Ramar Pattabhishekam. So I just want to say thank you so much to Narayana Prasad Mama and Sam classes for giving me this opportunity today. Jai Shri Ram.
Thank you, Samstita. That was a hair-raising, eloquent rendition of Yuddha Kandam. Thank you very much. Fluent, fast, and to the point. Thank you. Let's just go back to summarizing Sundara Kandam and come back to Yuddha Kandam. This experience of listening to this from the children or from the young adults here has been extremely pleasant for myself, and I'm sure everybody will enjoy it the same way. Because when you hear it from these people, it's pure passion, energy, and the way they understand it, which is even more pure, coming from these people. So anyway, going back to Sundara Kandam here, Vasumati clearly pointed out why it is called Sundara Kandam. Even if you had read Valmiki Ramayanam, like the Moola Ramayanam, one thing that I have personally noticed is the slokams in Sundara Kandam themselves seem more sweet, or seem more mellifluous, seem better rhyming. And even when you read the slokams, there is a certain rhythm, there is a certain gallop to it, and there is a certain way that you generally feel really nice, even just by reading. Whether you understand the meaning or not is a separate topic, but even just by mere reading, it gives you a good feeling, because most of the words in Sundarakandam are spoken by Hanuman and Tayar, Sita Pirati herself, right? So let's go into we just saw why Sundarakandam is Sundarakandam, but we also see that the communication during adversity, when you are talking to a person that is in deep distress, like you don't want to say, non-thoughtful things, force yourself upon them, or try to make them listen to you simply because you have a message. They may not be even ready to listen. Particularly in this case, Sita was tormented by Rakshasis day in, day out, right in her ears, saying that Dinova, Rajyahinova, Rama is a Dina, Rama does not have palaces, Rama is poor, he does not have an army, he does not have a palace, he does not have wealth, he does not have horses, blah, 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 all over the place. Just imagine. Sita was just tormented to no extremities, but when Hanuman shows up, he understands her situation. He doesn't go to her directly and barge into the scene. He observes Ravana coming and threatening her. Still, he holds his horses. He holds his calmness. He doesn't interfere at that point. And once Ravana is gone, when Sita is all by herself and she attempts to kill herself because Ravana has ordered that she be cut up and served for dinner because she is not yielding, right? That's when Sita attempts to commit the ultimate, the wrong step. But Hanuman waits for that moment and he unleashes his massive weapon. Not his strength, not his gadai, not other weapons, not his mind, not his communication, but his sound intellect tells him the power of Nama Sankirtanam. When you don't know, whatever you do will be wrong. Damned if you did, damned if you didn't. If you went down and spoke, it's a problem. She's going to think you are Ravana and she's going to run away and do something wrong. If you don't talk, it's even worse. She could continue to do what she's doing and would still end up being bad. So if you talk, it's bad. If you don't talk, it's even worse. So when you don't know what to do, you are against the wall. Hanuman gives you the prescription of what you need to do, what can bring solution to you. Very, very easy step is the power of Nama Sankirtanam, the power of Rama's name. Okay, Tyagaraja even sings, Ni balama, ni nama balama. Nijamu palgale, O Ramaya. So he says, Rama, are you strong or is your name more stronger than you? So there are very, very, very strong rhetoric conversations and it is a argument of scholars. Even for Draupadi, when during Vastrabharanam, the name Govinda gave her a lot of clothes and saved her pride. So there are many instances of Nama Sankirtanam and the Nama being very, very powerful. So Hanuman directly jumps on to narrating Ramayanam. And the beauty of Sundarakandam, you know what, is that there is a Ramayanam inside the Ramayanam. And this new Ramayanam is narrated by none other than the Navavyakrita Pandita that Sriman told us. Nan Rigveda Vinitasya, na Yajurveda Darinaha, na Samaveda Pritirato, Avistaram Asandigdam, Avilambita Mudritam. So however nicely he can communicate, that gentleman, Hanuman himself, narrates Ramayana to who? To Sita. So there is a Ramayana inside Ramayana, which makes Sundarakanda more beautiful. And that Ramayana being narrated by a Bhakta, by a Rama Bhakta, to Rama's own wife. Okay, so now that makes it even extra special. And after that, what happened? Sita immediately, like you heard from Vasumati, how the mood changed, right? And then she suddenly starts speculating, is this really Rama's messenger? Or is this Hanuman? Or is this Ravana? I'm sorry. Ravana came as, Maricha came as a deer and cheated me. What if Hanuman came in as, I'm sorry. What if Ravana came as Hanuman and he's cheating me here? What if this is Ravana again? She turns back. Sayevayam hi Ravana. You are Ravana, right? You are trying to cheat me again. I'm not going to get cheated. So, she goes back and then guess what? Hanuman goes back to his favorite weapon of Ramanama. The shlokam, he says, almost mesmerizes Sita, that she is back in love with Rama and she wants to drop a garland on Rama's shoulder right at that moment. He says, Aditya iva tejasvi devo vaishravano yata raja sarvasya lokasya lokakantasya chiyata. So he says, my Rama, you're thinking about Ravana. Guess what? My Rama, he looks like the blazing sun in all brilliance. But guess what? You cannot look at the sun directly. But when you look at his face, it looks like a cool Paurnami Chandran or Purna Chandran. Aditya iva tejasvi lokakanta shachiyata. The coolness of the moon in his face, while dazzlingly brilliant like the sun, is my Rama. What about this minuscule creature called Ravana? And he starts narrating, and Sita cannot hold back. The beauty of Rama through Hanuman's mouth is irresistible for her, that she says, Vikrantasthvam samattasthvam prajnastvam vanarottama yenedam rakshasabadam tvaya yekena parikirtitam. So she says, oh Hanuman, I don't think you are a mortal monkey. You are way more than that. You are way more than that. And you are a Vikranta, you are a Samatha, you are a Prajna. Oh Vanarottama, only you that came to Lanka all by yourself, in spite of being threatened by the Rakshasas into the Lankapuri, and also waiting on top of the tree, waiting for the right moment, coming in and giving it the Ankuliyakam at the right time and narrating Ramacharitam in my ears. Sita herself praises Hanuman for Ramayana. So this is a version of Ramayana that is extremely sweet. Extremely sweet. It's like, boiled milk that has sugar, jaggery, and saffron and everything. Well, milk is already nice, but it's boiled and made into a concentrate, thick form given by Hanuman. So the greatness of Sundarakandam, I can go on for hours and hours, but we don't have much time. So I'll jump from there. The lessons of communication, due diligence, and Sita's strength. Oh my God, my heart goes out for Sita Prati, because think 10 months. No communication, no WhatsApp, no cell phone, no idea of what even Rama is thinking or where even he is or anything of that sort. She holds her strength not only to stay alive, but she also retorts back at Ravana, says, Natvam kurmi dashagriva basma basmar tejasa. I'm not going to burn you into a pile of ashes, because Rama is coming for you, man. Rama is coming. And then she quotes a lot of Sumangalis, like, Dinova Rajyahinova Yome Bharta Jame Prabhu Tamnityam Anuraktasmi Yata Suryam Suvarchala. Like how the brilliance or the light cannot be separated from the sun. I cannot be separated from Lord Rama. Is the strength and power with which she tells Ravana urges him to no limits. Okay, that is a very, 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 very strong Tayar Sita Prati that Rama had come back to say for, and forgiveness and compassion. Again, we saw Sanstita's previous rendition of Kakasura Vrittantam, where Sita's forgiveness and compassion was slightly a notch higher than Lord Rama. And again, you see it here. Rakshasis did not even stop tormenting her for a second. Okay, and like Sanstita pointed out, we'll cover this in Yuddha Kandam. You have to go to Rama and pray to him for you to be saved. But it's enough if you stay in the presence of Tayar or Sita Prati for you to be saved. You don't even have to go and beg for pardon or beg for surrender. We'll touch upon this a little more, but that was a very, very nice presentation with a sweet selection of pasurams from Sundarakandam and very nicely put. Double repeated lessons before and after the pramanams that were presented, which made it very lucid for the listeners to take away what the lessons were. And then, like Sansita was mentioning, thanks to Vasmati there, and then Sansita was mentioning the grand finale of Yuddha Kandam, right? In that, the keeping cool under stressful scenarios was well brought out. And Satyena Lokan Jayati. You cannot talk, any less about this, because even in today's world, where it's a lot of startups burgeoning everywhere around the corner, and all big companies like the banks with financial organizations that have the name tags of too big to fail and whatnot, the motive of anything that you set out to do with is the most important. That's what it means by Satyena Lokan Jayati. The motive of Lord Rama is always deeply encrusted in dharma, right? As long as that is the case, no matter what amount of obstacle comes or not what amount of adversity comes, the energy to overcome and win over it comes from the universe, comes from the Satyam, comes from the Dharma. That's where Rama draws his strength from. So the lesson we take away from there is, now, say if you're going over as after successfully completing your school studies, college studies, and you go on to maybe start a company or an organization to serve people as a bank or whatever, just make sure the motive is not money. The motive is a dharmic and a satya, and is a very, very pure form of motivation that you need to have, because you are endeavoring to do great things, you will also get great obstacles. Not just Rama, even today, if you are endeavoring to do big businesses, if you are dreaming big, your challenges will also be big. Obstacles will also be big, right? But the power and the purity and the dharma of the motive is the only way. Not because you have good friends, not because you are very smart, not because you have a lot of money, not because you have a lot of investment. The purity of the motive is the only way you can win over the obstacles. And that exactly what it means by Satyena Lokan Jayati, on how Rama established, innumerable miraculous tasks like nobody else ever could imagine in that age, is because of his, deeply encrusted faith on Dharma and Satya. Okay, I cannot repeat that anymore. But again, going to the Vibhishana Sharanagati that Sansita laid out so smoothly was Anayam Harisreshta Dhattamasya Bhayam Maya Vibhishano va Sugriva Yadiva Ravanasvayam. Right? This one shloka is that Rama says, bring him over, bring him over, Sugriva, bring Vibhishana. Let it be Vibhishana or Sugriva or even Ravana. I don't care. I don't care what it's going to be. I am ready to give him my Abhaya Pradhanam as long as he is willing to surrender. Right? Sakradeva Prabannaya Tava Asmi Iticha Yachate Abhayam Sarvabhutebhyo. So in this age, compassion towards everybody, from the unicellular amoeba or organisms to the supernatural devas, Rama says, anybody from the unicellular organism to the celestial devas, I don't care who it is, bring them over as long as they are willing to offer Sharanagati, I will protect them. So that compassion, without any discrimination or without any difference between anybody, caste, gender, creed, religion, human, animal, organism, anything, that compassion is what we should learn from Lord Rama, which is very, very relevant even after 2 yugams. Right? Even after 2 yugams, that is very relevant lesson that we have to learn today. And I always am a big fan of Sita Prati, and I need to mention that again because Vasumati mentioned this in Sundarakandam, and this lokam appears in Sanstita's rendition of Yuddhakandam, where it says, Papanam va Shubhanam va Vadarhanam Plavangama Karyam Karunamaryena Nakaschin Naparadhyati. So Sita, Hanuman, after Ravana is killed, right? He comes over to Ashokavanam and he offers to Sita to say that, hey, guess what? Ravana is killed and Rama is going to come and he's going to take you and then you are going to be in Ayodhya. And still these Rakshasis are so ignorant, okay, so ignorant, so mindless that they don't even know Ravana is dead. And they still come and torment Sita saying, you have to marry Ravana, you have to marry Ravana. What is this? So Hanuman says, it's like, I cannot take this anymore. I cannot take this anymore. So let me just go give them some grief. Let me just flatten them a little bit, hurt them a little bit and come. And Sita says, no. Please don't do that. They do not know the difference between dharma and adharma. And guess what? Who has not done a mistake? Everybody in this world is bound to be mistakable and everybody is human. To err is human, right? So we should forgive them as people of good hearts and we should provide Abhaya Pradhanam. Again, the Rakshasis did not approach Sita Prati for Sharanagati. They did not come to her and say, save me. They were even hurting her very much like Kakasura. But Tayar's greatness, right? Sita Prati's greatness shines brightly in this slokam where she says, no, Hanuman, no. Please don't hurt them. We have to provide them Abhaya Pradhanam and save them. And Rama took everybody all together to Sri Vaikuntham. And this is the splendid rendition of, eloquent rendition of the kids that gave rise to many hair-raising, goosebump, romanchita experiences through this hour and a half. In spite of being slightly longer than we expected, I think this was totally enjoyable. And thank you very much. And Shirasyanjali Madaya, I should salute all of these kids for the knowledge and the effort that they have put in to bring out the greatness of Lord Rama for lessons in Kali Yuga. All right. Thank you, Shriman. Thank you, Vasumati. And thank you, Samstita. Let's chant the Stotra Mangalam and Acharya Taniyan and wrap up. Okay. Mangalam Koslendraya Mahini Gunabdiya Chakravarti Tanujaya Sarvabhaumaya Mangalam Veda Vedanta Vedyaya Mega Shyamalamurtaya Pumsam Mohanarupaya Punya Shlokaya Mangalam Vishwamitrantarangaya Vidala Nagaripate Bhagyanam Paripagaya Bhavya Rupaya Mangalam Pitrabhaktaya Satam Pradvihi Sakasi Idya Nanditagila Lokaya Ramabhadraya Mangalam Tikta Sake Davasaya Chaturkoti Viharine Sevyaya Sarvavinam Biro Dharaya Mangalam Somitrinal Janakya Chapabana Viharine Samsevya Sada Bhaktya Swamineva Mangalam Dandakaranya Vasaya Kandita Prachatrave Vigna Raja Girdhaya Muktadaya Astu Mangalam सादरं सबलीपत्र परमूलाभिलाषिने सौलभ्य परिपूर्णाय सत्वोद्रिक्ताय मंगलम हनुमत् सभवेदाय हरिसाभीष्टदायिने वालिप्रवदनायास्तु महाधीराय मंगलम श्रीमते रघुवीराय सेतोल्लंघित सिंधवे जदराक्षराजाय राधीराय मंगलम आसाद्य नगरीं दिव्याम अभिषिक्ताय सीतया राजाधिराजराजाय रामभद्राय मंगलम मंगलाशासनवरे मदाचार्य पुरोगमैः सर्वैश्च पूर्वैराचार्यैः सत्कृतायास्तु मंगलम यन्मंगलम सुपर्णस्य विनता कल्पयत्पुरा अमृतं प्रार्थयस्तस्य तत्ते भवतु मंगलम श्रीमद्रंगषडा समविरा लब्धागमान्तद्वयं श्रीमद्वीरोत्वाच्युतपादारविन्दाश्रयं श्रीमद्वेदान्त देशिकेते कारुण्य भिक्षास्पदं सेवे रङ्गनिशासनं नारायणं योगिनं वेदान्त देशिकटाक्षब्दत्रयं सारमद्दिगुणं बुधाभ्यं नारायणात्युत्तुटु कृपाभिषिक्तं श्रीरङ्गनाथदेशिकरमाश्रयामः श्रीमते लक्ष्मीनरसिंहदेवपादुका सेवु श्रीमन्त्रगोपश्री नारायण महादेशिकाय नमः श्रीमते श्रीमन्त्रगोपश्री रङ्गनाथ यतीन्द्र महादेशिकाय नमः. Thank you everyone.